Yay, we're broadcasting. Da, 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 da. Okay, third installment of this crazy character. Okay, what I'm doing here is I have 34 on and Lone Zen Warrior on. And this is an Ironman challenge for World of Warcraft. And what it does is you can't have any special gear, you can't have potions, you can't have buffs, you can't have anything that helps you through the game. You can't spec your character, nothing. But this is a special challenge because on top of that, this one can't quest. She has to just kill stuff. And the thing that can't happen is you can't die. If you die, you lose the challenge. And usually with this game, these games, you die often. So,
Okie dokie.
that's what's going on. What level is she? Where should she be? She should be here. She's in a good place. I have two other challengers. I have one that's a normal challenger that does quest, and all the rules are the same except for the specific. And then I also have a pacifist, and the pacifist can't kill anything. She has to get through everything without killing anything. On top of no good gear and no buffs and so it makes it a little more difficult.
My dad used to work for a gaming company out of Oakhurst back in the 90s, late 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
They did the Leisure Suit Larry game and stuff like that.
Leisure Suit Larry?
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
it's called Leisure Suit Larry, and they had a couple other big popular games, but my dad was quality assurance manager. He ran the department where the guys would just sit and play the games and try to make them mess up, see if they could get the characters to walk through walls, look for glitches in the programming, all that kind of stuff.
So alpha testers.
And we got to beta test games that they would bring home. My dad would bring home some of their newest, their latest games, and we got to beta test them at the house.
Oh, that's cool.
And my brother did it, my dad did it, my mom played a few of them, but I just never got into them. I was never into Atari or,
Really? Oh man,
Yeah.
you had the wrong parents. My mom was like that. She was never into any of that stuff. We should have swapped.
I've never. The only game I really like to play, even on the, we have a Wii, and once in a while we'll do bowling, or I'll play pinball. That's about it. That's as gaming as I get.
Oh, see, my hubby likes that. He does the pinball thing.
Mm-hmm. That's the only. And my kids get mad because they get up there and rack up a high score, and then I get on there and play, and I haven't played in 6 months, and I blow their high scores away, and they're like, they get mad at me. They're like, you don't even play the game, and you beat it every time. I'm like, hey, I know my pinball.
Yeah, I remember pinball. I used to go to Shakey's Pizza or whatever, and always be like, all they had in the corner was pinball.
Yeah. I grew up, my dad was an alcoholic, so I learned to love the real games like pool, pinball, darts. I played bar games, not video games.
Darts, yeah, I'm good at darts.
Yeah. So
Darts and pool, and I bowl, but I'm not as into bowling as I'm into pool. If I go to a bowling alley and they have a pool table, you'll see me at the pool table.
The company I was working with on 9/11, we had a bowling league, and my average was over 200.
Yeah, we went bowling the other day, but my hip was out, so I tried to talk everybody into playing pool. So adults decided that, nope, mom can't play then.
Yeah.
So they did bowling anyway. But then the kids went to the movies for 34's birthday, and hubby took me to play some pool. So that was fun. But she hasn't tried to make it up to me yet either. That's just mean.
Aw.
No, you know the teen years. They're such nice creatures during the teen years.
So what are you doing? Just going around killing wolves?
At the moment, yeah. Get off me! There is a wasp that came into the house that wanted
Uh-oh.
to touch my arm. It didn't sting me though, amazingly enough. It was just, hovering.
No, they're
Mm.
just curious creatures here.
Yeah, one stung me the other day at midnight. Don't ask me how a wasp was in the house at midnight that decided to jump out and sting me for no apparent reason. But that wasn't fun. For like, what, a week? My whole arm got hot and I had to have ice on it for several days and had to put cream on it because the nerves were going crazy. And then
Yeah.
it, the funny thing is the wound with the heat, you know how it gets all discolored, was in the shape of a heart.
Huh.
So I guess the wasp, in its weird way, was trying to say it loved me, but
Hmm.
strange stuff. But midnight? I mean, who gets stung at midnight? It's just, and I had never been stung before in my life.
Hmm.
Not by nothing. We have a wasp nest in the garage, one of the garages.
My oldest he doesn't have to do it so much now because we think he's kind of gotten immune to it, but he got stung by a wasp a few years back and he ended up having to carry EpiPens because he swelled up so bad he almost stopped breathing.
Oh wow. Oh, that's not good.
So they had to prescribe him EpiPens to carry with him whenever he was out and about in case he got stung. He's been stung by other wasps since, and he's only had a minor reaction. So we think maybe the first one was the worst, and hopefully he's gotten over it since.
Hmm. Well, hopefully it might have been like his body might have become, I don't know. It was, you know, you know how you get calluses and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Build up.
they said about the EpiPens. They gave him the EpiPens because they said just in case, but the doctor kind of told him, he said you could either have a very very bad reaction the next time, or you could have a less reaction the next time because now your body's used to it.
Right.
He said, if you've never been stung before, that first time might be really bad like it was, but then you'll be okay afterwards because your body will have a tolerance to it afterwards. But just in case, they gave him the EpiPens in case he had an even worse reaction, which he hasn't had yet. And all of the times he has been stung, it was a minor reaction. So.
Well, that's good. We have bumblebees that live in our house. They go in between the top of the garage and the house where that part is
Um,
separated. And then we have the other garage because, like I said, the people we bought this from, the guy was a car fanatic. So we had three garages. There was a garage already built into the house, and then he made another garage door at the end of that garage, so we could take the cars all the way to the end of the house.
yeah.
So he had one huge workshop downstairs, and then he built another garage outside of the house. So, but that bumblebees are there, and then in the garage outside of the house has the wasp nest. So,
Hmm.
and they're too active right now. You wait till winter and then you get rid of them.
Oh, yeah.
Oops, can I stop jumping around? That's another thing is I can't have help. There's
Uh,
the Blizzard has an armory where it keeps track of everything. We have statistics right here.
uh,
See, all these are statistics. And one of the statistics is the percentage of your kill. So we're supposed to have close to 90% of a kill rate, because sometimes people will accidentally help you. But if we go too low with that, they'll be like, "Why are you?" You know, she's taking all my
Mm.
stuff. I gotta run away from her. Yeah. If you Yeah. So if you're in the groups and stuff like that, then other people are killing for you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a bad thing. And the pacifist can't group either, because if she groups and somebody kills something, then she'll get credit for the kill.
Ah.
Okay, this wasp thingy is by the other window. That can be open. We have one window that's broken that it was at earlier. Let's see if I can. Did it go out? Yeah, I think it went outside. No, it didn't go outside.
Cute
Okay.
tail.
Huh?
I said cute tail.
Yeah, she's got a tail. Where's my stick? To make sure nothing spawns on me. Hold on.
Nice tail. Woohoo.
Let's see. Hurt by a wasp or get my character killed by accident? What is more important? Yeah, I think it. No, it didn't. Come on, fly out. Fly.
we have wasps really bad here because we've got yellow jackets, mud daubers, black wasps, brown wasps, red wasps.
Yeah, this isn't one of the normal ones.
They're all over the place out here, and come spring, man, here they come, and they're all looking to make nests and finding little hidey holes and cubby holes to crawl in and out of.
Because you want. Yeah, because you want the doors open and stuff like that, but you don't want, the wasps to come in. One
Yeah,
thing that Norway hasn't learned is screens. They don't have screen doors. They don't have screens on windows. There's no screens.
yeah.
So you
Do
can't
y'all
keep the.
have those windows that you can turn the latch and the top of it pulls out, or you turn it the other way and the whole thing opens?
Yeah, you undo the bottom and you push it out, and half of the window goes out and half of the window on the top comes in. And if you
Well, the
push it all the
ones
way,
we
you can
had,
flip it upside down.
the ones we had in Germany, you turn the handle all the way up. It would be all the way down was shut. You turn it all the way up, and the top you could pull out, and the top would come back. Come inside. It would open
Yeah,
that top half of the window. The top of the window would just fall.
come
Come
inside.
inward
Yeah.
to give you some air.
And
But
if
then
you
if you
push it
turn
far enough, you can flip it
90,
all the way upside down.
if you close it and then turn the handle 90 degrees, then the whole window would open, and they didn't have screens either.
Yeah.
But we
And,
had the shutters. All the windows and doors had shutters on them, though.
and we don't
The
have shutters either.
They had aluminum roll-up shutters, so when it was cold or if there was a storm, you'd roll the shutters down. That was your screen. Because if you
Hmm.
rolled it down part way, it had little slits between the sections of the shutter, so it let air through. So you could like
Hmm.
shade the window with it, part way, lower it down part way. But then if you closed it all the way, then all the slits would close up, so it'd be a solid shutter.
Well, I have Venetian blinds that I guess work as shutters, but no, you open it from the bottom and you push it out, push the window out, so it cracks from the bottom out, and then the
Mm,
top of the window comes inside the house.
yeah.
And then there's a lock on the side, and if you release the lock on the side, then you can push it out all the way, and it will flip over so you can clean the outside window without going outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those too.
But when wasps are flying around,
Yeah.
it's not so clever.
Well, I thought it was always cool because my bedroom was on the second floor, but there was a uh, gutter pipe right next between the two balconies between the neighbor's place and ours,
Hmm.
and they weren't like these cheap, thin aluminum ones we have over here. They were the thick, sturdier ones, so you could actually climb up and down them, and I could climb down it and sneak out of the house at night, go run
Oh,
around
cool.
town with my buddies.
It works. Yeah. Every little thing I'm feeling, I feel like the wasp wants to hang out with me still. I
Yeah.
can't tell if it flew out or not. It's probably on the top of the window.
I used to freak out my friends because we lived in a row house. You know, all the houses were connected and they had basement, first floor, and then second floor was bedrooms, and then sometimes there was, you know, an attic above or an apartment above in the attic. And the balconies were close enough together where I could go out on the balcony of my bedroom and I could go down five houses down and go knock on my friend's bedroom door and say howdy.
There you go. So one of the other things to get experience in this game is exploring new lands. So I'm going to sell some of this stuff, and then I'm going to go to another land, because that map is actually all filled out. And I don't need to keep nothing since I can't do anything with anything. I'm not allowed to cook in. The only thing I'm allowed to do is sell on the auction house, which is the only way that I make decent money in this game for me to get, you know, mounts later and stuff like that. But beyond that, oh, see, it's still in the fucking house. Sorry. It just went by my ear. Sorry. I'm
Nice
being
leg, you got a
attacked.
wasp bugging you in.
I know, right? 34, come down here and get rid of the wasp.
Yes.
Huh?
I'm coming. So after this, I'm getting off here.
Why? You need to talk and enjoy the conversation. He's such a grumpy butt, and I won't let him do what he wants to do. Stop being so. It flew past my ear. It was up there, and it's on that window. This is where it keeps going. I don't know where it went because I ducked. You know, I wasn't getting attacked all day until just now.
My bad luck.
No. No, it's his grumpiness is the bad luck. You see it?
Do what?
Did you look at the top? He can't find it now. Oh, poor baby. The sun's blaring in his eyes now. I mean, you think kids would be happy that their mom wanted to play video games with them?
Yeah. Right?
Uh-huh. And he's being all nice and grumpy. I don't know why I have that open. So I'm going down here because I'm going to get on a boat.
Ah.
This is the Stormwind Harbor. And look, look, look. It's flat.
Yep. It's always flat, right?
Yeah.
Like Mark Clarendon said, all games are based on a flat plane. They never use a ball.
Yeah. Which one thing I've never checked is the moons, because the moons do move. This one has one moon. There's another area that has several moons and planets above the area. But I'm curious to see if the face of it changes.
Yeah.
Because when you have, it's like a disc, the moon's like a disc above you, so no matter where it is, your perception of it will be what angle the plate is turned at, but you never see the side, you know, a different dimension to it because it's flat, you know?
Yeah.
So you see that bunny in the moon, and it can be facing you or turned the other way or twisted because you know how it goes around in a circle, kind of twists a bit. But yeah, I think you got it. Did you get it? You got it! Yay! He's trying not to cut off its feet because he's putting a paper underneath it. 34 is such a good boy. Well, he's not a boy anymore, but that's not the point. But yeah, but you know, when you have if you have like a ball in the center of your room and you look from one side of the room and look at it, and if somebody's on the other side of the room, they'll see a different design. If it's like a design on the ball, they'll see a different, completely different look of whatever the pattern is on the ball. And you don't see that with the moon. So I don't get how some of these people keep saying that the moon is round. Or spherical.
Yeah.
Hi, hubby. He's stealing my coffee. Do we need to make more coffee? Yeah, we might want more coffee today. He just threw a wasp out of the house. Love you too. Anyway, look, it's about. You know, this story should be on. Go get on the thing and tell the story. No, they can't. Get on your headset. He's not responding, so that means he can't hear you at all. They can't even hear when I have the microphone above my head. So you're still there, right?
Me, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay.
God, you all suck.
He had a story, he started trying to tell it, and it's like, no, you gotta get on the call and tell it. That's the whole point.
Anyways, during my time at school, when we were still in like school, we had a clock right next to the door, and I always asked, and at some point I asked, "Where's the clock for where you're at?" And everybody always said to the right. It's like, all right, now what happens if you're on the other side? But they always gave out the same answer, so I actually had to move somebody from the right to the left and say, now where is it? And it got them to ponder for just a little bit. It's like, how do you guys not understand the simple logic of where you're
Perception.
at? Yeah, perception.
Perspective.
Perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, because of whatever direction the design on the moon is, that's their argument for saying it's spherical, because when you're where I am, you see it in one direction, and where you are, you'd probably see it like sideways or upside down compared to what I see. And it's like, no, that just means it's round. It doesn't mean it's spherical.
Yeah. It could be a half a sphere. We don't know. We've never seen the other side of it.
But if it
As was the same for clocks, we only see one side.
yeah, but if it was a ball, and it has that, it kind of has that face on it, or the bunny design, or whatever people see on it, I'd
Uh,
probably see the ears and you'd probably see the body. We wouldn't be able to see the same part of the design being so far away on the plane if it was
yeah.
a sphere, because it would be, curved.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like,
people have even pointed out that if you see it from one part of the world, you see certain craters on one side of it, but then if you're looking at it from the other side, like from the south, then you see slightly different craters, which, okay, but that doesn't mean it's a sphere,
no, it just means
it's
some.
still just perspective, and if it is even just slightly concaved, maybe it's part of a disc, you
Mhm.
know, a
The
partial
simplest
dip and it's a projection, then yeah, that makes sense. That if you were north of it, you would see certain craters on the northern edge of it. If you're on the southern side of it, you'd see craters on the southern edge.
Because I've seen tons of pictures of it with the design all flipped around and in different angles, but I've never noticed different craters or anything.
Yeah.
I've never,
Well,
when I
one
was
of the
into
things to
looking
watch
at it, I didn't know to ask these questions either. So
one of the things to watch is as it when you first see it.
somebody wants
Hang
to
on, I
unite
got
with you.
Robo Shark trying to call me. I told him to holler at me when he got back. He's trying to call me on Skype. But anyway, what I was saying is if you see the moon to the east and notice the orientation of the dark areas.
Mm-hmm.
Then as it travels west, it rolls like clockwise, right?
Mm-hmm.
The it'll like if you think of it as your hand, put your hand to the left with your fingers pointing, at 45 degrees to your left, and then as your hand comes across your face, it rolls to where your fingers would be pointing to the right at 45 degrees. That's the way the moon moves across the sky. It does appear to roll or rotate clockwise as it goes across.
Right. Yeah, because it twists.
Yeah,
It,
well,
it
like I said, it's like it rolls as it comes from east to west. It like rolls. The craters roll clockwise on the face,
yeah, but that
but it
would
doesn't
be
actually turn. It turns north to south, not east to west. You know what I mean?
right. It's like if you have a happy face and you have it at noon, the eyes are closer to the top. If you bring the happy face to 3 o'clock, the eyes would be closer to the three, so the happy face would be sideways. If you put it at noon, the happy face would be upside down.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. A way to simplify the moon juncture. Change the moon into a picture.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because when you look at the moon, there is a picture on it. There is a design that you see from here.
Oh yeah. There's a distinct pattern.
Hmm.
And we were talking about this yesterday in some other hangouts about the craters, that all the craters look like they're 90-degree impacts.
Hmm.
So that, you know, linearly across the face of it. There's no skid marks or, like something hit at an extreme angle and cut a gouge in the face of it. They're all, looks like all straight on shots.
Hmm.
A lot of weird things about it. I got pictures of it last night, and I was noticing where it was in the sky, and I was seeing that same thing that I've been talking about before, that when it's in certain phases, the shadow of the moon is not there. The only part
Yeah.
of the moon that is visible is the lighted part. But then when it's in the other phase, if you take the photo out of focus, you'll see the rest of the moon. The shadow is there. The
Hmm.
rest of the moon is there. You see the full circle of the moon. But in other photos I have, that part of the moon does not appear to be there at all. You can't make it out. Even if you put it in Photoshop and adjust the levels and everything else, the color that part of the moon isn't there, which is really strange to me. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. Is it the camera can't pick? Because I've looked at it through binoculars, the telescope, and everything else, and it just looks like that part of the moon is not there in that phase. But then in the other phase, and I never can remember if it's waxing or waning, but when it's in
Yeah.
the other one, you look at it and you can see the whole circle. It's just the lighted part is what is showing.
Well, maybe it's the angle of where the light, because somebody posted something to where it was kind of like you think of a lighthouse. The lighthouse light moves in a circle.
Yeah,
And if that's the case, if it's facing up and it's moving in a circle, or, it faces down
yeah,
towards us, and then it turns around and looks up when we don't see it, and then it comes down, it might be the direction that the light is pointing, which causes it when it's coming in to point on the moon to where it starts to light up the moon to bring it back to a full moon. The whole thing can be seen because it's facing that direction, so it's like illuminating it. But when it's after the full moon, when it starts to go away again, the light is pointing, going away, so the light is not angling anymore towards the majority of it. So then you
yeah.
don't see it because there's no light. Do you know what I
Well,
mean? Kind of like
yeah,
the Doppler effect almost, just.
yeah. The way I've been thinking of it is it's kind of like a refresh type thing.
Hmm.
After the new moon, you see the lit part, but not the shadow part.
Right.
You only see the lit part, and then it slowly but surely becomes a full moon again where all of the moon is lit. And then when it starts to wane, the light travels to the other side, but then the rest of the moon start is when you first see it The other part of the moon isn't there until it becomes completely lit, and then after it becomes completely lit, the light fades away to the other side, but the rest of the moon stays there to where it is visible.
Right.
But then once it goes to a new moon, it completely disappears again.
Yeah, it's like when you're turning your car. If you have your headlights facing the forest and you turn your car to the left,
Yeah.
the right side will start to get darker faster than the left
Mhm.
as the left side is getting brighter. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. Oh,
Because
yeah.
the angle of the light is starting to point left, even though it's still basically in the same area. You'll lose light on the right and you'll gain light on the left as you
Yeah.
turn.
Because I
And that
said
might
this
be
before. I
why.
went out and I plotted where the moon was every morning right before it went to a new moon.
Hmm.
And it, where it's coming up right before the sun does, and I marked it every morning where it came up so that I knew exactly where it was, and I noted the time and the time difference every day. And then I went out the morning of the new moon and looked in the very spot where it should have been to try to capture it, and it was not there. There is nothing there at all. When it's a new moon, the moon is not in the sky. It's not being projected, or it's not projecting itself, or whatever the case may be. But during a new moon, the moon is not in the sky. It's
Yeah.
gone.
And the weird thing is you can see the stars behind it when it's not there. And some people say
Yeah.
that's a reflection, but I mean, it'd be
No,
interesting.
I think that's because that part of the moon is not there. That part of the
Hmm.
projection is not being projected during those times. That's the times when I'm talking about where you can see the lit part, but the shadow part is the same color as either the dark night sky or the blue day sky. And if you try to adjust the color levels of a photograph of it, the shadow is the exact same color as the sky, whether it's black or blue or anything in between. The color changes the same for everything around but the lighted part of the photograph.
Right.
So that either means that the camera is not picking it up or that it's not really there.
Well, even I mean, and that's the thing is usually if something's there, even if it's a like a light gray, the way it still should discolor that area.
Yeah,
You know, it
you would
still
think.
should. You would think it would still pick it up because it's still something.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
it doesn't. And like I said, the camera doesn't pick anything up at all. And even if I look at it in a telescope or through binoculars or anything else, even your eyes can't detect the rest of the moon. The only part that you can see is the lit part of it. That's it. The rest of it is invisible. It's not there, as far as I can tell. So it's weird. I keep looking at it. I was watching it last night and snapped some pictures of it. And I've got a cool compass app on my phone that's from Smart Tools,
Hmm.
and it actually integrates your camera off of your cell phone into the compass view so that you can actually align the compass directly on the sun or the moon and then snap a picture of it with your GPS, magnetic difference, declination, the whole 9 yards, and it imprints it over the top of the photograph. So you can actually align the horizon and everything right to the object you're snapping a picture of, and take a picture with the compass in front of it, so it gives you all the readings right there, so you can record it. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat compass app. I like it, and it's pretty accurate too. I've tested it with other, just regular magnetic compasses, handheld compasses, and seems to be pretty spot on.
Hmm.
I've
That's
been
cool.
using it a lot when I'm looking at satellite dishes, trying to figure out what these satellite dishes are pointed at, because they all point the same way and they're all set at the same angle no matter where you go, it seems.
Hmm. Well, actually, Jeff Stewart talked about satellite dishes and where they point to and stuff at one point. I think that's one of the videos he deleted though. But he used to work for a cable company or something,
Mm-hmm.
and he never understood why the satellite dishes weren't pointing up.
Yeah, why are they pointing at a 45-degree angle?
You know, where it's being broadcast is pointing to the side towards the cable company, and the cable company is pointing it in different directions for their customers
Yeah,
to receive it. And then the customer's box is pointing in a direction where it would it would cross hair, you know, the line of sight where it would cross hairs with the cable company,
yeah,
which that's pointing in its direction. But they're never pointed up.
yeah. Well, and I talked to
They're
people in
tilted up slightly
California.
to for the signal to hit each other, but they're not pointing up.
Yeah. Well, I talked to people in California, and they told me that their satellite dishes are pointing in the same direction they are here in Texas. So what the hell are they pointing at? Because if they're in California pointing, because they typically point southwest,
Hmm.
mostly south, but more west, and they're always at about a 45-degree angle to
Do
the
do
horizon.
do all of them do that, or is it just certain companies?
From what everybody's told me, they're all pointing the same way.
Because we have a satellite dish that's not active, but some people have satellite dishes on a different side of their house than we have.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well,
that
like
would
I
have.
said, take note of them, and if you have a compass app on your phone or something, you can go stand in line with them, kind of line yourself up in the direction they're pointing and get a compass bearing on them. A true number reading on the bearing of which way they are pointing, and then make note of the angle that they're pointing at. Is it about a 45-degree angle or not?
Hmm.
And make note of which ones are which. If it's a different company, is it pointing a different direction, or are they all pointing the same direction? I'd be curious to know, because I've been looking at all of them, and all the ones I've seen here up in Missouri, and even ones that I've seen in Arkansas and in between, they're all pointing the same direction, and they're all on 45-degree angles. So,
What about where those big dishes are? Maybe it's pointing to a central dish somewhere.
well, that's kind of the interesting part of it, is they're all in various locations at various longitudes and latitudes, and they're all pointing pretty much the same compass reading southwest, and they're all at 45-degree angles. So that means they're all just pointing to a general region in the sky. That if they were focused on a singular antenna or anything like that, then they would, you would get a slight difference in the compass readings of each one, and they would point you towards the source, but they don't. They're all pointing in the same general direction. So
Right.
how does that, it's not like the crepuscular rays of the sun where you can follow it back to the source.
The thing is that if everybody's pointing it in that direction, at one point somebody's got to be overshooting the mark.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
You would think, but
Because you have that triangle thing, you
yeah,
know. You know how Orphan Red did try to map out how high the sun was. She
yeah,
was like, this person's here in the center looking straight up, this person's over there looking west, and the person's over there looking east. So
yeah,
that's kind of how it would be if it's a stationary satellite. Everybody should be pointing in a different direction so they can pinpoint that one spot. But if
yeah,
everybody's pointing in the same direction, it doesn't make any sense.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said look at them and let me know, because all the ones I've been looking at, they're all pointing in the same direction. So they're not focusing on a singular point. They're all just pointing in a general area,
Yeah.
and they're all the same pretty much. They're all the basic same compass heading southwest, and they're all at about a 45-degree angle above the horizon.
Now,
Which, if you look at a dish, the way it's shaped, if it's at a 45-degree angle, that means that the signal is probably coming at it horizontally. The signal's coming level to the ground and then hitting the dish and being reflected into the sensor at the 45-degree angle, right?
mhm.
Because if you have a straight-on signal coming directly into a dish, it's not going to reflect back to the sensor. It has to come at some kind of an angle from the sensor and then angles into it. And like the old big dishes, like in the first satellite dishes that were 6 feet wide and they were made out of metal and they had these big loud motors when you would had to turn them to catch a different satellite supposedly, and they all went in an arc east to
Mm-hmm.
west. Because I remember my dad, we had one at our house. My dad actually stuck the pole up through the roof and put it above our garage roof, which he found out the hard way was a bad idea because if you were watching something late at night and you went to change to another satellite, it vibrated the whole one end of the house and woke everybody up. Because it was, it's a 6 foot wide steel dish. It wasn't the little satellite dishes we have today that are plastic. It was on a 6-inch steel pole to hold it up there because it was so damn heavy. But yeah, it's weird how they work, and like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. If they're pointing in the same general direction, then they're being pointed at a signal that is being broadcast in pretty much all directions to the north from somewhere, it appears.
Right. So the question is it's perhaps that the angle that it's pointed at is not important at all and just has to be turned on, and to give people the illusion,
Well, I don't think it's
they
so
say
much
that you have
the
to
angle
point it
to the
this way.
horizon. It's the compass. It's the compass direction that it's pointed that matters the most.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if everybody's pointed the same way and there's a specific point people are supposed to be pointing to, then some people are overshooting it. So maybe that's just a deception that it
Mhm.
needs to be pointed in a certain direction. Just to give people an illusion, oh yeah, there's a satellite out there and this is the direction you have to point it in.
Well, look at how many people have put the apps on their phone that'll tell you how many GPS satellites you're able to see, and there's supposedly like 32 of them for
Mm-hmm.
the GPS system for the Air Force controls, and they've showed that according to those apps, they're standing in certain places and they supposedly are seeing 28 of the 32 geostationary satellites. Well, how can you see 28 out of 32 satellites if you're on a ball? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
If you're on a ball, at best you could maybe see a little over half. you know you might see maybe 16 of them, not
Mm-hmm.
28 of them, if there's a total of 32, right?
Right.
If you're on a ball, then you should only be able to see about half, maybe one extra, but not 80%, 90% of them. That makes no sense at all. So, well, listen, y'all, I appreciate you letting me watch this and love to talk about the moon. I'm going to jump off real quick and go holler at Robert real quick, say hi to him and talk to him for a little bit, and I'll check.
Okay, no problem. I almost got killed too.
I saw that.
It's when because it's like everything's comes up as you look at it. It renders, and all those guys didn't render fast enough by the time I got there, and it was like, no, wait,
Uh-oh.
run. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways,
All right.
thanks for being on. Yay.
You bet. Y'all have fun. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Talk to you later, 34.
Later, man. Bye.
Take care, man. Peace.
See, now you're stuck with me all by your little lonesome. Happy?
Oh no, I'm ending this thing.
No, you're not. No, I'm almost done. Look, I ran out of rested XP, so I'm almost done. I just need to get the area mapped out. See?
Uh-huh. And then you started on another character.
Not on a hangout. This is the only character I'm doing a hangout on. That people can follow my progression.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't she cute? Did you see that I almost died?
Nope.
No.
I'm playing my own game, remember?
Aww. But yeah. Do. It's just stuff is in the way when I'm trying to go. See, I need to fill this corner up, and that's the part that I'm running into a problem because all those guys are over there. So I need to get close enough to the area. There it goes. Yay! Okay, so that should be fine. Okay, I didn't die that time. No, it just didn't render fast enough, probably because of the hangout. So I had like
Probably.
3 or 4 guys chasing me.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, well, I don't wish to start the character over. That's the whole point, is to, you know, not die.
Well, it is an Ironman challenge.
I know, right?
I mean, nobody said it was going to be easy.
Well, that's why I'm doing it, because they've made a lot of the game too easy. So I want a challenge.
That is true.
Actually, the easiest one is the Ironman challenge. The second one, this one's a little bit harder. This one is the Bloodthirsty challenge. The hardest, I think, is the Pacifist.
Bloodthirsty challenge?
This is Bloodthirsty. She can't take any quests. She needs to get her experience from killing everything and exploring new areas and stuff like that.
Okay, if it was the Bloodthirsty challenge, you'd be killing everything in sight so long as it was equal to your level.
That's what I'm doing. Aren't you paying attention?
No, because I can't see your screen. I'm playing on my own screen.
Yeah, so I'm killing everything. The only things that I'm not killing are things that have grayed out for me already.
Oh, you're supposed to kill them too.
No, because it doesn't give you experience. There's no
So,
point. Well,
this is basically your genocide run. You're supposed to kill everything.
everything in my path. I'm doing a pretty good job of that. Just I gotta be careful of certain areas, like this area right here. Tons of things are running in my direction, so I gotta run away. There's a group of a horde of mobs in that area. So
So, not the horde.
no. Yeah, this is a bad, if you do a challenge like this, PvP servers are a bad idea.
Oh, then this must be fun for everybody playing PvP Iron Man
No,
challenges.
people that do Ironman challenges that normally play PvP won't be on a PvP realm. Actually, in the rules, it recommends you to avoid them. Because if you die, you die, and it doesn't matter if a character kills you or if a mob kills you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some people get bored and decide to go to low-level areas and gang people just for the fun of it. So, it would just make it a waste of time. No.
Mm-hmm.
You probably could, I'm thinking, if you stayed in an area and there's some areas that are contested, and if as long as it's an area that's solely for your faction, but I don't think you could probably do a pacifist challenge, actually, because herbs and mine are the only way to get XP, and you can stay in a low-level area and get that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Without getting a kill, and without killing anybody. But if you accidentally run out or you get adventurous, you know, or if you accidentally target a PvP character or something, that might be a bad thing. So, that's all.
People talking on the Sonic chat.
People are talking on the side chat.
No, that's right. You don't have Discord.
No, Discord.
Discord.
No.
It is basically Skype back in the day, where it had the options to pick and choose who you wanted to mute.
Mm-hmm.
So you can increase or decrease their volumes. So, for instance, if I still was talking to Chanana back in the day, I could easily turn her volume down because of her loud output.
You know who you sound like when you keep saying back in the day, right? Sorry.
SDFU. I can also mute people who I don't care to listen to. So if there's like 20 or 30 people in one voice chat, I can easily just put some on mute and have the rest talkable.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have like multiple chats going on at one spot.
Okay. I think the last time I had her, she was in Exeter, but this time I brought her here. So I haven't finished that map, but I'll finish that map the next time I do it. Once I'm done with this map, I'm gonna go.
The best thing I like about Discord is that it doesn't make your mic go off unless you're at a certain
Is it an app for Skype?
No, it's not.
No, what is it?
It's its own program.
Okay, and it's connected to chats?
Only to your own.
No, but it's so it's like its own Skype. It's like a Hangout thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can also freely jump in and out of voice groups, so it doesn't have to be, oh, you need 2 people to start one. You can just jump in one and wait for another to join.
Okay. If it's a typing chat or a calling chat, or you can do both, or
both. And you have, and specifically it goes like this. You have a channel, which is basically the group you want to be a part of. And I'll take 2 as an example. I have the Hover group and I have the Sonic World group. And then you have sub-channels. So for instance, in the Hover group, I have general, I have announcements, guidelines, post bugs here, and meetup.
Okay. So is this like a chat thing for gamers?
Yes.
Okay.
And hell, if you want, it's kind of a little bit more advanced version of Skype. With the Sonic World group, there's group chats called The Rules, which is basically posting up the rules, the main chat, the modding chat, the news and videos for the release of the 7th, and off topics. So if you want to talk about the main things that's going on within the Sonic World series that's Nibrock is making, then you go there. If you want to go on the off topics and talk about something completely different, then you go there. Talk about modding, you go into the modding group. And it's within the same channel, basically, you know?
Okay.
So you can have multiple conversations going on in different group chats. Hell, you can even be on a voice chat as well. So that one you have to be specific on, because you can't be on, say, general and team red voice chats, you know? I can't go on. Now, in the Sonic World thing, they only have 2. One is the main voice, and the other one is dev voice. So if the developers start talking, they have to be on the main thing, else invite somebody to join them. Everybody else can go on the main voice chat. And if I want somebody specific to see something that I wrote, because I'm trying to talk specifically to them, I type in the @ key, and then I can start typing in their name. And when their name shows up, and I press enter, their name will be in blue, and it will notify them that, hey, somebody is talking to you.
Okay, well that's good.
Another thing I like about it is that you also have a notification setting that you can put up. For instance, right now I've set everything up to all messages to notify me,
Mhm.
but I can change it to where I can have certain things be all notify me or nothing. So even if someone is trying to get my attention, I have no bearings on what's going on there. It's a wonderful system that Skype had a while back, but this one's an
Right,
improved version of that old system
right.
instead of a watered down version that Skype has.
That happens a lot though. Upgrades, and then they get rid of something they don't realize everybody uses or likes. Or
And the biggest thing that Skype has over Discord at the moment is the video chat. But to compensate for that, Discord allows you to connect yourself with other websites and programs such as Twitch and whatnot. So if you're doing a gaming thing, you can sign yourself up on Twitch with Discord, and you can automatically get you going there.
okay, cool. Should send me the link so I can put it in the description just in case anybody's curious about it.
Oh, like you?
But no, seriously, people watch these things that I make.
However few that may be.
Oh, you're so optimistic.
I know, aren't I?
Wonderful, wonderful child of mine. We do have a few viewers. Not many. That's not the point. Anyway.
And let's see, go here, go here, go there. And
Here for there.
there we go. I sent it to you
Oh, thank you.
on this chat.
There's that. Copy. Address. Where did I have it? There we go. What was it when I was doing it? I'm on a flight right now, so I'm looking for stuff. Looking for stuff. Looking for stuff. It goes really slow when you're streaming.
Yes, it is.
So anyway,
Well, why are you still live?
I'm still live because I'm flying.
Uh-huh.
And yep, that's the live version. That's the
And you're
happiness.
lagging as all hell.
So, oh, there we go. So, rest of XP is over. We got a bit more. We got a couple levels. We got to hear my wonderful son, 34, and one of my friends, Lone Zen Warrior, talking about random stuff in the game, and I'll be back again one of these days to level for some more. So, bye. Goodbye. 34.
Hmm.
Goodbye.
What?
Say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, goodbye. It's hard. It's hard to understand you when you're breaking up.